We are going to review each type of solving systems of equations we've talked about so far, starting with elimination, the most recent kind we have learned. When we are solving systems of equations using elimination, we are looking to see that we have the same coefficient and variable, but a different sign. So if I look here, I see that I have a -5 and a +5. Those numbers are going to be able to be eliminated because I can cross those out and I can get 0. So if I cross those out, I will then end up with 0. So I will then add up my remaining numbers. So I will have 2x equals -4. Solve the one step. So I'll divide both sides by 2. So x equals -2. Then I will pick whichever equation I think looks easiest. In this situation, I'm going to go ahead and take the bottom equation. So I'm going to choose 6x plus 5y equals -12. Instead of x, I'm going to put parentheses so that I can fill in that x equals -2 that I found. So then I will put my -2, and I will go through and do that multiplication. That will then give me a 2-step problem to solve. So I will add 12 to both sides. So I get 5y equals 0, and when I divide by 5, y equals 0. Remember, all of these problems, we need to write our final answers as a coordinate. So my answer here will be -2, 0. The next kind of problem we have is one where when I go while I have the same variable and coefficient and I have different elimination, so I need to figure out a way that I can then go ahead and make it so that one of these is positive and one of these is negative. The way that we do that is we multiply one of our equations by the number -1, and we will do that to each number. So I will then have a positive x minus 10y equals +9. And the other equation will stay exactly the same. Then we solve the problem just like we solved our last one, where I can eliminate these first things and then I will add everything else up. So I will then have -18y equals 0. So I find that y is equal to 0. I'll take that and plug into whatever I think looks easiest. In this case, I think that this equation does. So I will have -x minus 8 parentheses equals -9. And instead of y, I'm going to put 0 because that's what I found y equaled. So then I have -x, -8 times 0 is going to be 0. So -x equals -9, divide by -1, x equals 9. So I will write my final answer as 9, 0. Solving by substitution, this is what we have already taken our exit ticket over. You will take what y equals and you're going to plug it into the other equation for y. So we will have -7x plus 6 equals 3x plus 6. I'm going to move my smallest variable, but remember you could have moved any of the numbers. Once you do, though, it's going to decide what you must do next. So I will then subtract 6 on both sides. So I get 0 equals 10x. And when I divide by 10, x equals 0. I pick which equation looks easiest to me. I'm going to go ahead and go with the top equation. So y equals 3x plus 6. Instead of x, I'll put 0. So I get y equals 0 plus 6. So that means that y equals 6. So my final answer I write as a coordinate 0, 6. The other kind of substitution problem we had is where I would take what y equals and I would plug it into the other equation for y. So I'm going to write out -6x minus 2 parentheses equals -4. And I'm going to go ahead and plug in my 2x plus 2. I will distribute that -2 to each number. Everything else will stay the same, but when I distribute it, I have -4x minus 4, make sure to watch your signs, equals -4. 4. Then I can go ahead and combine like terms. So that's going to give me negative 10x minus 4 equals negative 4. And just continue solving the two-step problem. So negative 10x equals 0. I'll divide by negative 10. So x equals 0, and I will plug that back in to whichever looks easiest. To me, that would be the top equation. So then I will have y equals 2 parentheses plus 2. And I'll take that 0. 0 plus 2 just equals 2. And I'll write my final answer as a coordinate. So we have reviewed the 4 different kinds of ways we can solve systems of equations. 2 options for substitution, 2 options for elimination, depending on what you're given. The last page, you need to determine whether or not you're using substitution or elimination. And then finally, at the end, you have the answers so that you can check your work. We will go over some of these problems together on Monday, and then we will continue finishing our elimination notes.